Joshua Jackson said, "I didn't think I would ever want to get married." Then Jodie Turner-Smith came along. After having a 3-night stand that didn't end, the stars immediately got engaged to each other, got married in secret, and had a baby during the pandemic. Even though their love story is like something out of a movie, this couple has had to fight for it and deal with problems like racism and sexism that no one should have to face. In 2018, Joshua and Jodie met at Usher's 40th birthday party. Jodie liked her future husband from the start, but even though she wanted him, she chose to act like she wasn't interested. "I used to know the guy, and I really liked him." Turner faked not to see him, so he had to yell across the room to get her attention. She was wearing a t-shirt with a character named Detroit from the movie Sorry to Bother You. "I said, Detroit." In the other room, Jackson said, "It wasn't the best thing I've ever done, but it worked." Then he went over to her and did this cute and charming thing he does, and from there he followed her around the party all night. At first sight, love. I mean, maybe a little lower parts of the brain were turned on first, but I'd be able to tell my kid for sure. Yes, I saw her from the other side of the room. They were all over each other, dancing and looking into each other's eyes. The night ended with a kiss and a trip to the bedroom, which they thought was the end of a one-night stand. Both Jodie and Joshua have said that neither of them was looking for a serious romance at the time. "I wasn't looking to meet the mother of my child or fall in love," he said, "but life has other plans for you." The star from Dawson's Creek has said that he fell in love with her at first sight. "When we tell our baby the story, I'll probably start by saying, 'I saw your mother across the room and knew I had to be with her.' Most likely, I won't say that it was a one-night stand. My wife isn't lying when she says that sex would be the main focus at first." Their relationship didn't stop being strange there. They went out together in secret for a whole year, and by the time they told everyone, they were already married. You need to learn to be happy with where you are right now. When did they decide to marry? No one knew that the couple was getting engaged because it was a private moment between them. But they did it more than once. You're right. The woman and the man both asked the other to marry them. Turner-Smith was sure she wanted to ask Jackson to marry her, and he was happy about it. On New Year's Eve 2018, as they walked along the beach in Nicaragua on New Year's Eve, she asked him to marry her in an interview with Jimmy Fallon. Someone asked him how he knew that Jodie was the one. "When she asked me, I knew. This is the best decision I've ever made," he joked, pointing to his wedding ring. The actor said that Jodie had already asked him to marry her, but he asked her to also give him a formal proposal. "On a beautiful night in Nicaragua, we were there. It couldn't have been more lovely than it was. I'm still old school enough to say, this is a yes, but you have to let me do it too." He said, "This is a yes, but you have to let me do it too." It was very sweet and very beautiful. She asked me to marry her as we walked along the beach. Even though their story of how they got engaged was current and sweet, Turner-Smith and Jackson got a lot of negative feedback. This made the actor angry, so he clapped back at the negative comments they got and said, "If a woman wants her own space, shut the FK up. You wouldn't believe what people wrote to my wife on Instagram. There are racist and sexist things on the internet." It got done. I said, "Yes, we're happy. Good for you." Joshua Jackson was shocked by how ignorant and mean people were to his wife. He thinks it was a pointless and unpleasant way to teach people about how people treat black women. "We still have a long way to go," he said. "I would wish for my wife that she didn't have to be so strong and graceful in the face of terrible things. I'm inspired by her, but I wish that wasn't the armor she had to put on every morning just to get through life," he added. But the couple had been married for a long time before this bad press. They didn't tell anyone about their wedding until August 2019. 3 months later, they were seen leaving a building with what looked like a marriage license. When they walked the red carpet together for the first time, the star wore a diamond ring on her wedding finger, and so did her husband. It turns out that the pair secretly got married. Plus, they were also waiting for their first baby. The couple didn't tell anyone about their relationship until a year later. When they did, they had to deal with racism again because she was married to a white guy. People, please. The 21st century is here. Even though they are a pretty private couple, the two kept going with their lives and had their daughter Janie in April 2020. They talked about being pregnant and having a child during the pandemic. You don't know how much you're holding until this little, pure, innocent face pops into your life and you're like, oh, wow. The small fires were all over. Actor was glad that his co-stars, both moms of three, Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington, were there for him. Having a group of super moms around helped me with everything, from finding doctors to getting tips on what to expect. You could say that these two power moms know a few things about raising kids. The couple also chose to have a home birth because of something terrible. The American healthcare system has a terrible track record with Black women, who are more likely to have problems giving birth. It also helped the couple because of the pandemic, most hospitals wouldn't let the man stay with the woman while she gave birth, even though the woman had been in labor for days without any medicine. Jodie still thought giving birth was the most magical thing she had ever done. An insider said that they love each other very much and that having a child together brought them closer in ways they didn't even know were possible. So much so that the couple was already thinking about having a second child. The couple also makes sure everyone knows that the other is a great parent. Mother's Day will probably make you cry. This was sent by Joshua. Dear Jodie, this Mother's Day is the most special of all. I want to thank you for being such a bright light. I have never seen anyone more powerful than you at that time. I love you. And yes, her posts can make you cry just as much as anything he says. Just checking in to tell you how lucky we girls are to have you. Every day, I thank God that you and I are both in your strong, capable hands. You are the best husband and father. We appreciate you waiting for us. Do you want to cry yet? Since we are. Jodie also seems to be able to make things happen because her first crush was on Dawson's Creek's Pacey Witter. She fangirls over her husband like nothing else. When they were in Home Depot and the theme song came on, she danced around her husband and sang along. The more time goes by, the better their relationship gets. They care a lot about each other, cheer each other up when bad things happen, and tell each other to be kind to themselves. It's clear that they'd rather be with the family they've made together than anywhere else. They fell in love at first sight and haven't stopped since. Their love keeps getting stronger.